Hello guys, it's Naim Pradhan over here. I'm speaking from PIC and 945. Okay, so yesterday I talked about something about the audit things on the e-commerce industry. So when I go to dig deeper, I found that the currently very popular topic in this country, Bangladesh, is a blockchain. Okay, so আজকে আমি আপনাদেরকে কিছু আইডিয়া দেব কিভাবে what is the blockchain, what is the primary implementation of the blockchain, which is a cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. Okay, so কারো যদি basic knowledge দরকার হয় about what is Bitcoin, why it is getting started, and how it is implemented, and why it is very much secure. So I will explain all these things today in this topic because yesterday topic যেটা আমরা explain করছিলাম যে কি গ্যাপ থাকতে পারে e-commerce সাইডে from the customer perspective, from the government revenue department perspective, or the national security, or the company itself. Okay, so আমরা যদি আরো ভালোভাবে অ্যানালাইসিস করি তাহলে আমাদের আরো বেসিক অন্যান্য ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশন ডিটেল কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে আমার জানা দরকার যে কিভাবে সিস্টেমটাকে আরো সিকিউর করা যায়। ঠিক আছে, সেই জন্য আমি ওই কানেকশনে আজকে বিটকয়েন সম্পর্কে কিছুটা বক্তব্য দিব, সেটা আপনারা I will explain now. Okay, thank you very much. I'm getting started now. Okay, hello guys, so I start now. So first time I explain করব what is a Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin is actually a form of is a digital currency. Okay, the system is distributed, it's not centralized. So it's a payment method introduced in 2009. It is implemented in the blockchain technology. Okay, so I give you some more information about how and why it is started. Okay, for example, in the bank, if you have a bank, you have a set of banking accounts, you have saving accounts, current accounts, many accounts, right? So cross border, when you do the transaction, there is a high charge in the transaction. So some people thought that there is a lot of regulatory issues out there. When someone come new in the office, in the government, they can inflate the currency. So they thought to make some like anonymous form of virtual or digital currency, which is secure also. Over the last 5 years, it's already vetted and it's an open source technology. So it is already proved that quite securely people can transact and use the Bitcoin as a method of payments online. Okay, so this is what the Bitcoin is. It's a decentralized thing. It's something like cash, online virtual cash or gold, which you can use to purchase things. And this is the reason actually why the Bitcoin was come up in the world. It came in 2009. For example, I explain you a bit deep. Like we have a resource of gold, right, which is limited. So before that, I explain you something about what is money, right? So money has 4 attributes. First one is it is divisible. For example, you can break 100 টাকাকে আমরা 1 টাকা 100 ভাগে ভাগ করতে পারি, right? So it is divisible. It is durable. Like over the time, the currency is durable as well verifiable, right? So next is fungibility. The things like $1 means only $1. The inflation might be there, but 1 unit is 1 unit. So in the world, when Bitcoin is started till now, is a limited amount of Bitcoins out there. It means it is hard to inflate. So 21 million Bitcoins out there. 1 Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin. Whatever the value the 1 Bitcoin holds, it is 1 Bitcoin. So you can compare the Bitcoins something with money, right? So this is why the Bitcoin is getting popular, right? And other one thing is that which I will explain now. Hello guys, now I will explain something about the risk and benefits of Bitcoin, which is implemented by the blockchain technology. Okay, so আমাদের যে টাকা বা ডলার which is in paper, right? So আপনি ডাবল স্পেন্ড করতে পারেন না। ফর এক্সাম্পল 100 টাকা দিয়ে বা 200 টাকা দিয়ে আমি যদি কোনো একটা প্রোডাক্ট পারচেস করি, আমি সাথে সাথে টাকাটা দিয়ে দিচ্ছি। But Bitcoin is implemented is a digital crypto, is in the virtual environment, right? So এখানে ডাবল স্পেন্ডিং এর একটা রিস্ক থেকে যায়। সেটা কি রকম, ধরেন আপনার একটা ট্রানজাকশন ইজ এ টোকেন বেস, রাইট? So if a single transaction's digital token is used 2 times during the transaction is broadcasted, so a chance থেকে যায় যে একটা ট্রানজাকশন আপনি দুইটা জিনিস পারচেস করলেন, তার মানে একটা বিটকয়েন আপনার দুইবার সেল হলো, ডাবল স্পেন্ড হলো। কিন্তু এখানে বেনিফিটটা হচ্ছে টেকনোলজিক্যাল, সেটা হচ্ছে বিটকয়েন ইজ ইমপ্লিমেন্টেড উইথ দ্য ব্লকচেইন টেকনোলজি, যেখানে এই প্রবলেমটা হয় না। এরকম কোনো রেকর্ড দেখা যায় নাই যে এন্টায়ার বিটকয়েন অর দ্য স্টোরেজ উইচ ইজ ইন আ লেজার অফ ব্লকচেইন, দ্য এন্টায়ার লেজার ইজ হ্যাক। সার্টেন কেসে দেখা গেছে যে ফর এক্সাম্পল একটা নোডে বা একটা ব্লকে হ্যাক করার চেষ্টা হয়েছে বা একটা ব্লক হ্যাক হয়েছে, বাট উইচ ইজ নট দ্য এন্টায়ার ট্রি অর এন্টায়ার লেজার। ওকে, সো দিস ইজ আ বেনিফিট অফ ইউজিং দ্য ব্লকচেইন, which is very difficult to hack. So in some later session I will tell you about the implementation detail about the blockchain today itself. So এটা একটা রিস্ক আছে, কিন্তু আরেকটা জিনিস হচ্ছে যে it is open source, so you can check the code and know the detail of the blockchain technology, right? But it's a software thing which is something related with bugs and problems out there everywhere. The spike of the bugs must be there. But I don't put this risk very high because it's already vetted for 5 years, it's almost bug free. And it has been seen that not much hack has been done over the blockchain using while using that Bitcoin. Okay. And next risk is, which is the most risk, that is the government and political intervention. That is, যখন আমরা একটা US ডলার ব্যবহার করি বা বাংলাদেশ টাকা ব্যবহার করি, সেটা একটা কন্ট্রোল রেগুলেটরি ফ্রেমওয়ার্কের ভিতরে আছে, বাট ব্লকচেন ডোন্ট হ্যাভ এনি লায়াবিলিটি অর রেসপন্সিবিলিটি টেকেন বাই সামবডি। ইট ইজ আ গ্রুপ অফ ডেমোক্রেটিক পিপল। সো আ গ্রুপ যারা ব্লকচেনটাকে সাপোর্ট করতেছে এবং এতখানে নিয়ে আসছে, তাদের নিজস্ব ট্রাস্ট 5 বছর ধরে তারা অর্জন করছে যে ইটস আ ভ্যালিড অ্যান্ড রিলায়েবল প্ল্যাটফর্ম টু ট্রানজ্যাক্ট অর ডু সাম পেমেন্টস। ওকে, সো এখানে আমি কয়েকটা মানে I give some examples of some great people. That is, for example, Elon Musk, who is the owner of Tesla Motors of US. He bought very recently 1.5 billion US dollar worth of Bitcoin. Okay, so and he soon may allow to sell Tesla with Bitcoin currency, cryptocurrency. So it means some cars are getting sold by the Bitcoin. You can purchase real estate using Bitcoin. It's already happening there. But there are some other people like Bill Gates. He's telling that about the regulatory things, like when some money is going from one country to other country, where there is no regulators out there or no government or control out there, there may have some mismanagement, right? The taxing things. So far in each country, when you have some Bitcoin in your account, it is considered as your property. So the currency or digital currency or which you have in your Bitcoin account, it will be considered as your property. So you will give tax over your property. Now, so benefits are a lot of benefits out there. That is lower transaction cost around the globe. When you do using the bank, there is a high transaction charge. Then anonymous, people don't want that their name come up in the online or everywhere, that how much amount he has somewhere or elsewhere. So this anonymity has people like, lower cost of transaction people like, then it is decentralized. There is less chance of hack. Okay, for example, I told you last time that a bank, if it is hacked, the entire bank is hacked. A lot of people's records are getting lost because that is centralized. But when the ledger of the Bitcoin, which is implemented in blockchain, which is decentralized, it means the multiple copies out there in the miners, and every transaction takes 10 minutes to confirm that all the distributed nodes, the transaction is updated. Once it is all the nodes are updated, it is confirmed that the transaction is done. This is how they are maintaining the reliability of the system while you do the transaction. And here the blockchain is performing very well, because I give you some detail now about the implementation of the blockchain. That is, we said you earlier that we have 21 million numbers of bitcoins out there in the world. It's a limited set of bitcoins, so less chance of inflect, right? So for example, in my account, I have a Bitcoin account. What is the benefit of Bitcoin when I use it as a medium of income, right? So you can sell the Bitcoin to person. This is one way. Second way is trading. For example, through the exchange, you can trade Bitcoins. And storage of your Bitcoin, you can keep in your hard disk, you can keep in online cloud platforms, or even if you can print it in a paper to later use it. And this is the benefits of Bitcoin, and people is accepting it more over the existing methods of payment, right? Now you think about some comparison, like in the currency in Visa, in each day there is more than 1 billion transactions out there, but in Bitcoin transactions in a day is like 3,000 to 4,000 in between. But it is even more secure than any other form of transaction virtually which is done, right? So আমি এই বিষয়টা আনছি এখানে এই জন্যই যে আমাদের দেশে যে যখন আমাদের ই-কমার্সগুলিতে আমরা অডিট সিস্টেমের আন্ডারে আনবো, তখন আমরা যাতে এই বিটকয়েনের দেখা দেখি ওরা যে যা দিয়ে ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করছে ব্লকচেইন টেকনোলজি, সেটাকে ব্যবহার করতে পারি, উইচ ইজ মোর সিকিউর। ইউ ক্যানট হ্যাক ইট। সো ইট মিনস যে ক্যাশ এট হ্যান্ড ওয়েন ইট ইজ গেটিং এন্ট্রি as a block inside the blockchain of the whole tree from the point zero for each company, online e-commerce company, you cannot change it. If it is changed, the miner in the Bitcoin system will detect the change. When I will tell you the details of the implementation, you will understand that why it is not possible to hack. Okay. In the next video, I will explain you in connection in the next session. I will tell you about the details in the implementation, why it is difficult to hack. So আমাদের দেশে আমরা এই ব্লকচেইন ব্যবহার করতে পারি ই-কমার্সের অডিটে। ওরা যখন যেসব ট্রানজ্যাকশনের ডেটা ইজ মনিটারি, উই ক্যান ইউজ ইট এনিওয়্যার, লাইক ইন ব্যাংক, যেখানে আমার ট্রানজ্যাকশন হয় ব্রোকার সিস্টেম, তারপর হচ্ছে যে ই-কমার্স ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল অডিট বা ওদের কতগুলি ট্রানজ্যাকশন হচ্ছে। এই ব্লকচেইনটা বেনিফিট হচ্ছে আপনি এটা চেঞ্জ করতে পারবেন না, চেঞ্জ করলে আরেকটা নোটে যে ওটা ধরা খেয়ে যাবে যখন ম্যাচ মিলবে না। সো আই উইল টেল ইউ ইন ডিটেল ইন দ্য ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশন সেশন সোন। বাট আমাদের অ্যাপ্লিকেবিলিটিটা হচ্ছে যে ব্লকচেইন ইজ আ চেইন অফ ব্লকস. The next block has a connection with the previous block, and it's a block of 21 million bitcoins. In that example, each block represents 1 bitcoin. So when you do the transaction, this block if you transact with some other person, it goes there. So it is not something that this block is moving there, a new block is not added, existing blocks are moving, come and out. So আপনার যে 21 মিলিয়নের সেট আছে ওটা মানে ইনট্যাক্ট থাকবে। সো there is a chance that যে আপনার যে মনিটারি যে গোল্ডের স্টকের এগেইনস্টে টাকা ওর ইনফ্লেশনটা রোধ করা যায় এই ধরনের ব্লকচেইন দিয়ে, যে আমার এতখানি সেট আমার। আর আমাদের ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশন আমরা যেগুলিতে করবো সেটা হচ্ছে যেমন ব্যাংকিং সিস্টেমে যখন একটা ব্যাংকের ফুল হ্যাক হয়ে যায় ওটা রোধ করতে পারবো, ডিসেন্ট্রালাইজ করে দেওয়া হবে, প্রত্যেকটা ট্রানজ্যাকশন নোডে যাবে, একটা ট্রানজ্যাকশন হলে প্রত্যেকটা নোড আপডেট হবে, আনলেস দ্যাট ইজ আপডেটেড all the nodes, you will not get the confirmation. In that case, if anything is hacked in a single node, the entire tree is never hacked. So we need to investigate the areas where data is very important for storage, and we need to keep it for longer years. In those places, we can use the blockchain technologies. So next, I will explain you about the detail of the implementation. Okay, thank you. Okay, guys. In this session, I will explain you about some of the algorithms and the data structure and the structure of the storages, which is decentralized, and which is the blockchain itself. I will explain you in this session. Okay, thanks. Okay, guys. So a session, as I told that I will explain about some of the details of the blockchain. 1 year back, I had a friend. She was asking me that what is blockchain and where are the places we can apply that. Okay, some questions was related to the what is mutable things. Okay, some other source was telling me what is the blockchain, why it is secret, what are the uses of that. So when I go for a detailed investigation over the blockchain technology, it started with the Bitcoin. Okay, so when I go through the Bitcoin, I saw that behind that the blockchain technology is getting used. Okay, so now I will explain you some of the things about the blockchain. Okay, I am a computer science guy. I studied in Assam University in 2000. Okay, so the first course we had on programming language C. So it is a very structured programming language, which is very primitive, not a very high level language. Okay, so anybody, if you want to get to know the detail of the implementations of the blockchain technology, you have to understand the data structure first. Okay, so we used to work in a linked list. We implement our own linked list, which is a basic data structure. So the structure of the linked list is something like it starts with a connection of connected blocks. Each block contains some data. It can be a complex data, or it can be a single one, only a value of anything, some like a word or a integer or something. So here, when we implement the blockchain for Bitcoin, so it has a set of structure for its own data, which is the amount, what is the value of the Bitcoin, the securities provided in the Bitcoin is you have a private key and a public key. So you can consider the public key just like a bank account. Okay, and the private key you can consider is as a password to access the account. Okay, so when you create a block, is a combination of public and private key. Okay, now what is the security behind that over the block? So during the World War II, I read actually it's a one-way. For example, when you log in an account in a web, like in Facebook or any other places, it is a one-way path of security. Like if you don't know the input, you can never decrypt the encrypted content which is stored in the database. So like the same technology is getting used in the blockchain block to encrypt it. That's what is called cryptocurrency, right? So it means it is encrypted. The technology it is used is hash 256. I told you about the World War II that the big mathematicians used to use that technology to encrypt their voice, which goes from wireless over the air to intercept in another wireless. So the encryption is done over some algorithm. That one of that algorithm is hash SH256. So this is a type of algorithm which uses some extra value to encrypt it. Without that value, you cannot decrypt it. And why it is said the input one way, that is when it goes the input, the person who is giving the input, other than he the data cannot be decrypted. That's why it's called one way. Who is the person actually knows the public and private key? Only he can go there and decrypt it to get it back, right? Like the Facebook password, which is one-way security. Like the person who knows the password of his account, other than he, nobody can decrypt the encrypted password inside the Facebook database. That's why those things make the crypto things to safeguard the data which is in the block. Okay, this is part one. Next thing is, for example, this is a block of a list. The next block is there. So the next block knows who is the previous block, what is the address of the previous block. So this is a connected chain of blocks. That's why it is called blockchain. And in when we were studying in first year in computer science, we used to implement the linked list using programming language C. So all the primitive things, when it's getting to the high level, they're applying part by part, taking some part from here, from there. Here they took the hash algorithm to encrypt it, and took the linked list, the data structure, to implement the chains of the blocks. And they represent one block as a 1 Bitcoin. Okay. Okay, now come to the transaction part. And someone asked me what is the mutable things. So I explain you that thing. That mutable means in programming language C#, some of the objects are mutable. It means string is a mutable object. That is, for example, I write string name equals to name. Next line I write name equals to some other name, which is Islam. So what is the mutable means the initial variable which hold the value name equals to name. After the second apply over that replacement of the name into the Islam in that block, the block is never no more the same block. So it means variable variable was name and the value was name. When you replace the name and put the Islam, the previous name variable is deleted. A new variable and memory location is created and Islam was put there. So previous variable and the new variable is completely different memory location. That is called mutable. So why the mutable thing comes up in this blockchain? That is, they implemented the mutable things in the implementation of the Bitcoin because they are trying to make it a payment method, replacement of like a US dollar, which is USD, and this is the term it BTC, right? Is a type of currency is turning into. So like I told you earlier that the gold, we have a limited resource. So with that resource, you have a set of papers which is a US dollar or Bangladesh taka or anything you can compare with the reserve of the gold, right? So same way, you have a set of blocks. You cannot increase or decrease the set of blocks. That's why it is mutable. That you can never delete any block. You can only change the blocks. Okay guys, so far I have explained about the block, right? How they provide the security inside the block, how the blocks are connected and from the chain, and why the chain is a set of 21 million blocks, right? Now I will tell you why it is decentralized, how the transaction is secure. Okay, so a few of the things we must remember that when we transact in a bank account itself, some money is deleted from one account and some is added in another account. That is called a transaction, right? So a lot of issues might happen when you do the transaction, right? At the middle of the transaction, the electricity might not be there, and many other reasons may come out. But here in the Bitcoin, they maintain the transaction security in a way that is why secure in two reasons. One is it is decentralized. It means the ledger of the entire transaction history throughout the time from the day of its begin or foundation is in the entire ledger. It is recorded, and it is decentralized means in a centralized form. For example, it is the center, anything happen around, it comes here. But decentralized means there is a set of nodes, right? So when some transaction happens in between these blocks or accounts, for example, I have account, I have private and public key, and I have, for example, 2 bitcoins. I'm selling it to some other person who has another account in the bitcoin, and my 2 bitcoins moving into his account, so the transaction is required. For example, it is happened in a block, in an area or region of one ledger. The entire ledger is out here. Once the transaction is done, it will update all the ledgers of all the nodes. Okay, so it means now once one ledger is updated, all the nodes around the world is updated. That's why it takes at least 10 minutes to perform a single transaction. Once all the nodes are updated, all ledgers are synchronized, it will get that confirmed the transaction is done. So it is providing more security because the entire ledger is never lost. If it was centralized, once the center is hacked, the entire thing, there is a chance to get hacked. But it is decentralized. One copy of the full transaction list, the ledger of the blockchain is here. Same is there, and another node, there is another node. So one transaction is happening here, all the nodes will be updated. That is why it is making sure that the entire ledger is never be hacked. Once if it is hacked, it can be recovered very quickly. One thing. Second is transaction security. For example, I told you about the linked list basic algorithm. That is, for a block of data which has some addresses of the previous block, which knows that who is my previous block, and it's a set of 21 million blocks. So when the transaction is happening, actually 2 bitcoins from me, my account is going to some other's account. So both of the places, the blocks keeping record what was his previous position and what is his current position, what is the amount they are transacting. So the data inside this is encrypted. The addresses and of the previous position of the block and the new position of the block is recorded, and the log is there, what was the previous state. So in this way, after this, they are synchronizing all the ledgers around the world. So there might have chances that one of the transaction might be hacked. For example, you see the scenario that I have 1 Bitcoin, I'm going to sell to other person, someone other account. So once that is transaction is done, some hackers from third party or external, they try to hack one of the transactions. For example, they try to hack one block of the transaction, but it has the record that that is mapped with the next block which was participated in that transaction. So if you try to hack one part, there is a set of miners. Okay, their duty is to check the synchronization of the ledgers. So they have some mathematical puzzle implementing algorithms which can detect if the synchronization is has been broken or not. Like if the transaction from this block is getting hacked, it will warn with an error or alarm that there is a mismatch with the similar record of the transaction of a block which is not matching with that block, which where both of them participated in that transaction. So this is how, even if one block is getting hacked in a transaction, the entire chain is not getting hacked. Where in a centralized system, the entire system may be hacked. You cannot recover the data. You may have recovery servers or other lot of mechanisms out there to safeguard that. But here one benefit is decentralization is the ledgers of the entire history of the transaction is recorded in lot of nodes. This is one thing, and second is the transaction, if it is even hacked, it is easily recognized by the miners that where is the gap of the mismatch of the transaction. Immediately they can check that node and of that transaction, and using the cyber security, the footprints, they can catch the hackers also. It happened that once one block of transaction was hacked by some guy. Later he was sentenced for 3 years jail. Okay, so this is the benefits of the security of blockchain. Now, so we can consider that we use primitive linked list technology, so making the block a chain of blocks. We use encryption to safeguard the data, which only the account holder can decrypt. They safeguard the transactions using the synchronization by the miners to check the transaction at 2 points. Even if one point is getting hacked, it is noticed very in a short time. So this is why actually the blockchain is very much secure. Okay, now the question is, what are the things we can implement using the blockchain? We told that the first implementation was Bitcoin, right? But now, I'm not going to the blockchain, but regarding the Bitcoin, will the mass majority of the people who use the currency like the paper will accept this as a mechanism of a payment? How much acceptance they will get? So like that, after the Bitcoin, a few other cryptocurrency has been introduced in the market in the world as a mechanism of transaction. So Amazon is telling that they will have their own cryptocurrency. They won't use the Bitcoin. So there is a good future about the Bitcoin, but there are cases that there is a spike. Like in 2011, someone, for example, buy the one Bitcoin by $10, it reached to $200. In 14 certain times, it reached $1,200. So the guy who bought one Bitcoin by $10, he will get selling that $1,200. But that spike may pass only 1 month or 15 days. And certain cases, the entire blockchain, like Bitcoin, get crashed, like the market, but every time when there is a crash, they recover that very quickly, and it get vetted for much longer time. So if you invest your entire capacity or money over this, it has been seen that when there is a downfall, it is fading off, that time it will take longer time to get recovered back to that position. So it is good for rich people who invest like 1.5 billion US dollar over there. But some of the people who expect that, invest and hope wait large amount, they might not get the return very quick. But it's good for trading, like a short-term trading, that you buy some Bitcoins and after some certain time you sell it to a person, or through exchange you sell it. That is the Bitcoin part. But the secret actual implementation is done by the blockchain, using the data structure, security mechanism. And one more thing is that to implement and sustain this technology active, you need high processing computing capacity, which will consume a lot of electricity. So that is the part of the miners. The miners are actually working to safeguard the blockchain, checking trying to stop the hacks, monitor is throughout the time, synchronizing the ledgers. Those are the things. So if certain cases, if it happens that maintenance cost is very high, so I don't know what will happen, but so far the miners was rewarded by using their computing capacity investment. They were rewarded with some of the Bitcoins. So this is what the implementation details of the security part about the blockchain. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, bye.